Hello everyone, welcome back to Small Hard West. Let's go to Matthew's tomb before the army camp. You arrived at a burial place. It was reputed to belong to one of the four evangelists. A gang of four brothers named Mark, Matt, Luke, and John. A disfigured vagrant sat on the tomb. He presented himself as Necator, a seer. He told you that each of the brothers' tombs contained an inscription that told part of their story. If someone read the story in correct order, it would reveal the location of the gang's stash. Okay. Ready to read the whole story? What's the inscription say? Mark was the eldest, and the others had always followed his orders. But John harbored a secret bitterness. When they finally tracked down the masked doctor responsible for the atrocities, he disobeyed the eldest commands to provide cover. Without his brother's protection, Matthew was riddled by bullets. They buried him here. Huh. Okay. This is an interesting riddle. What do you say? Brothers fell into disarray. Mark blamed John, John blamed Mark, and Luke, who always broke their peace, was powerless to reconcile them. Tempers escalated until John drew on Mark, and another brother fell, this time in the hand of his own kin. It was the end of the evangelists. So I think this must be the ending, right? So it's the end of the evangelists. Okay. Then there was a doctor with atrocities, hers not carrying the worldly remnants of the departed distant soil. Instead, it contained living human parts kept alive in jars by electricity and eldritch bombs. Huh. Mark was resolute. Whoever did this must pay. John and Matt disagreed. For the first time, the brothers were divided. Well, John drifted alone, rootless, and without purpose. Finally tired of being outgunned and outnumbered, he decided he could not continue. He was on preparing to take his own miserable life when Luke returned, bent on reconciliation. He found some leads on the masked doctor's time to strike was now. So time to strike, and then Matthew's tomb. Right? So he followed orders. John harbored bitterness. They finally tracked down the masked doctors. Matthew riddled by bullets. They buried him here. But then what about... Where does Mark's tomb fit in all this? Mark was resolute. Whoever did this must pay. John and Matt disagreed. And then... Mark and John. So I think this is the end. Is this the beginning? Luke's tomb? So I think Luke's tomb's the beginning. Right? He'd found some leads on the masked doctors. Okay? So Luke's tomb, then Matthew's tomb. Right? Because then he always followed orders. They tracked down the doctors. Matthew's riddled by bullets. So then they're torn up about Matthew. So they go to Mark. And then at Mark, the hearse was carrying away Matthew. And Mark was like, you know, we gotta get some revenge. And then we have John. And at the sight of John, they just killed each other. But the only one that mentions Matthew was Matthew's tomb, and that's where he was shot up. Right? I don't think this... Yeah, it's all about John here. John and Luke. So, Luke Matthew, Mark, John. Beginning of the story was Luke, Matthew, Mark, and John. Some of the decrypted words made sense, not to decode the location of the stash. I guess I'm wrong. What if we did it by name? So... would it be like agility, reaction, recovery, emotion? No. I don't know. I thought I had it. I mean, it makes sense. The story that I made makes sense, but I guess that's not the story. I don't know. What if Luke is last? So be Matt. No, Matt would not be first. Because you find the masked doctor, and then here's the masked. The masked doctor. Yeah. So it goes Luke and then Matthew. Guaranteed. Would it start with Mark? I mean, that doesn't make any sense. Mark was resolute. Whoever did this must pay. Say, I swear it goes Mark, John, and Luke, Matthew. So we go Mark, John, Luke, Matthew. No. So if we go Luke, Matthew, Mark, John. I have no idea. Alright, well, I've already spent like half the episode trying to do this. I'm gonna sit down and like puzzle it out in between episodes. I don't know. The first time the brothers were decided. Wait. Mark, Luke, Matthew, John. Mark, Luke, Matthew, John. Dang it. I thought I had it. In a moment of clarity, I thought I had it. Would it be Mark? Nope, dang it. Mark, Matthew, Luke, John? Because John being first makes zero sense. Like, they're killing each other. It was Matthew, John. So if you do Luke, Mark, Matthew, John. I don't know. I guess, I mean, the easiest way to do this is just literally start, go 1, 1, 1, 1, right? And then instead of Matt, we'll go John, Luke, Mark, Matt. And then Luke, Mark, John, Matt. And then Mark, Luke, John, Matt. Well, like, it doesn't make any sense. Like, So we've done Matt, John. Let's do Matt, Luke, John, Mark. This actually would take a very long time to do this manually. This would take a very long time to do this manually. Wow. And you have to make some sort of chart to make sure you're not accidentally, like, copying. I'm not sure. I'm not sure, because there's the story of... Like, it could easily go... Could easily go... Luke, Matt, John. So would it be Mark, Luke, Matt, John? Or Luke, Matt, John, Mark? Go Luke, Matt, John, Mark. Whoops, I pushed the wrong button. Luke, Matt, John, Mark. There we go. Nope. Alright, well then, Mark, Luke, Matt, and then John. Yeah, I don't know. I have no idea. We'll come back to it. I'll think about it. I'll do it next episode. The camp was nearly deserted. Only a couple of sentries remained. Burns was nowhere to be seen. As an outlaw, approaching openly would guarantee a hostile response. You could take the men out one by one, likely yield less information about where Burns was. Well, why don't we sneak into the camp? Sneaking past the guards was simple. You saw a sergeant talking, and one of his subordinates managed to eavesdrop on the conversation. It seems Burns was leading an attack on a nearby Indian village. Huh. I could steal some provisions and sneak out? Well, let's continue listening. Okay. Apparently, Commander Burns was a decorated war hero with a reputation for risky methods. His most notorious achievement had been to infect himself with smallpox, then intentionally be captured by the natives, infecting them in turn. The resulting plague decimated their population, allowing the army to wipe out the survivors without sustaining a single casualty. Burns had survived, his facial scarring a testament to his bloody-mindedness. Thought about ways to use the information to your advantage. We're about to retreat. Walked into a sentryman. I resulted from the gunfight wounded but victorious. We have some supplies, too. Dried meat, healing elixir, and musket. Well, go to the massacre site. We'll see what's up. Plume of smoke visible from miles away guided you to the site of the pacification. The village was in ruins, littered with body parts. The army had not even spared the women and children. The place was deserted, save for a single figure sitting on a rock, his head in his hands. Your mangled visage seemed to convince Burns you were the devil incarnate. He said he was ready for his punishment. You guys why he started having second thoughts now after a long and troubled career of Indian killing. Huh. Now I'll do number 4. Your punishment is to do my bidding. But I'm curious, why you have second thoughts now? Burns gave a grim chuckle. He had always respected the natives. The story of him infecting himself to wipe out a village was a tall tale his superiors had concocted to inspire the grunts. Burns had always respected the natives, but he had also believed in the power of the American authority. Until now. Now he longed for a chance to redeem his sins before he exited this world. Redeem yourself by freeing the souls trapped in purgatory. He sat silent for several minutes considering your words. Just as your patience was waning, he grabbed his bundle and his gun, saying a worthy goal like yours deserved a willing servant. He would follow you. Oh, he spoke again.
Your next candidates were Randy Harden, a notorious gunfighter, and Henry Persons, a former Pinkerton agent. The local crime lord would know where to find them.
Fun. Burns said he had allowed a group of natives to escape. Though his men had tried to hunt them down, he was positive some of them that survived would be coming for their revenge. Burn said if you were looking for them, they'd be at their sacred grounds. Why would I need to kill survivors of the Indian sacred grounds? Doesn't make much sense why I should kill them. What purpose would it serve? Browse the shop. You have the holy musket, right? Yeah, you do. So good. Alright. Well. Tactical support, world map, military authority, apparently. Huh. This tomb thing is bothering me. This tomb thing is seriously bothering me. Track down the masked doctor. John harbored a bitterness, so John's definitely involved. Tired of being outgunned, outnumbered. I mean, it has to go Luke, Matthew, doesn't it? What if it goes Matthew, Luke? So the massacre happened with the doctor. Then they look, they try and find like, hey, by the way, we found him. We can go take our revenge. Found some leads on the masked doctor. Time to strike was now. John and Luke. Who survived this fight? John blamed Mark and Luke. And Luke was powerless to reconcile them. Mark died here. Is it Mark, John, Luke, Matthew? Mark, John, Luke, Matthew. Because the way you order these tells a very different story in every order. It tells a very different story. Wait, what about Matthew, Mark, John, Luke? I don't know. Spend the entire episode trying to figure out this one riddle. I don't know. I don't know. For now, I guess we'll just have to end the episode. Sorry, we weren't able to figure this out. It's very frustrating. But I don't want to accidentally, like, miss out on an opportunity, you know? So, we'll figure it out next time. For now, if you liked it, give it a like. Subscribe to the channel, share it with your friends. Thank you to Ann for being a Patreon supporter. I'll see y'all next time with the four brothers' tombs that we can't seem to riddle out. Like, I don't get what the story is supposed to tell. We've tried to tell a story where everything ended with their death, and then we tried to tell a story where Matthew was killed, and then they went to go seek revenge. And we've tried to tell so many different stories. I don't know. If Matthew was killed, then the hearse comes by, and there's a big ol' fight, I guess, and then they found him. Or Matthew was killed, and then again the hearse comes by, and then John goes wandering until people are dead. Like, that doesn't make any sense either. I don't know. Whatever. We'll figure it out next time, guys. I'm sorry. DFTBA.